Welcome back to Golf Talk 2025. Today we're going to talk about, have you ever wondered why your tee times are getting later and later during the month? And also, have you ever wondered about course ratings and course slopes and how it affects your handicap? Stay tuned. I'm your host, Pat White, and joining me as usual is Casey Flenniken, Director of Golf, Wills McClure, Director of Maintenance. Merry Christmas. Belated Happy New Year, guys.
Same to you, Pat.
And all you folks out there.
Good to be back.
Yeah, it is. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Cold and snow, and we're ready for golf.
So during the course of the winter, I run across something, and it's with Chelsea.
Yep.
And I understand Charles Roberts did a real good video about this.
He did.
We're not going to go in a lot of detail how it works. But if I sign up and I have 3 players playing and I put guest in there, somehow or another that could have, let me back up, it could have an effect on my Chelsea points, correct?
It could. So the guest spot would carry the point value of the person put in as the guest. So the big issue you'll see, though, Pat, is a lot of groups are putting in guest spots. And, historically, that's not been an issue. My favorite line from you is you used to be able to take a left out of Tanassi and not even look.
Yeah.
Right? And that's no longer the case, obviously. Right. And golf courses are slammed. And so Chelsea requests are at an all-time high. We got an abundant amount of requests. And there's only so many good tee times per day early in the morning, right? And so you'll see most of the early requests starting to get backed up as the month gets later. So the way it works is your unlimiteds actually get priority because they paid for unlimited. So there is that hidden value in purchasing an annual package, because at the beginning of the month you start out at a lower Chelsea point value than a prepaid or a daily member.
That resets every month.
It resets every month.
Okay, good.
Yep. So if your request is for the first, it could be the 25th of the month. But if your request is for the first day of April, then your point value would have already reset based on the first day of the month.
Okay.
So what you see as the month goes on is our prepaids and dailies start to move up the priority list, because the unlimiteds early in the month were getting the times they requested. So sometimes the prepaid and dailies, they pay the penalty, not a penalty, just they don't have priority early in the month, but then on the back end they start to get maybe even better points.
Right.
Also, you start to see some of these larger groups of 8, 12, 16, 20 players who will go put in, say it's a group of 16 people, and they know 10 of the names, and they put in 6 guest spots thinking, yeah, our buddies will fill it. Well, we're no longer taking those guest spots off the tee sheet. If you don't fill those times, we lose that revenue, right? Or you also took that away from another property owner from being able to play in that time. So making sure that within 24 hours ahead that you're canceling guest spots, because if it's day of and your group just shows up, we're going to leave it on there, and then your Chelsea points are going to get dinged, and that's going to hurt your group's priority the next time you go to request.
So I have a thought running through my head. The idea is, if you're a group leader, instead of saying I average or I usually have, you're saying the group leaders need to be a lot more specific.
Absolutely, and I think that the best way this has gone is last year we start to see it really shine a little bit more of being a true competition for tee times, is the group leaders policing themselves, right? And saying, hey, Casey, showed, Wells, showed, whatever it was, and maybe it's a week penalty in the not being able to play in the group or whatever.
We talked
it may
about
be.
that at the Golf Advisory Committee, and there were a number of people in the audience and on that committee that talked about their strategy of controlling that, and that was one of them.
Yeah, absolutely, and I know multiple group leaders that actually do that. They say, all right, you're not playing next week because now you've cost our group good tee times. So
and no shows ding you really bad too.
That's right, exactly. And so if you've got somebody in your group that's no showing, and they continue to do so, and you're putting them in your request, your average.
As your weeks go by in the month,
Yep.
are you going to be able to run against that Chelsea algorithm and your lottery is going to win or you're going to lose? Which one?
That you're going to lose if you've got no shows with you. Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So the best thing, the recommendation would be don't put guest in, leave it blank.
Leave it blank or put the actual player that you know playing.
Right.
Right. If you know who's playing golf, put them in the request. Don't try to rig Chelsea or do anything, because it's going to end up biting you, because you'll put guest spots in, somebody won't show up, and then the guest spot gets dinged and you have bad Chelsea points.
I played golf the other day, first time since Thanksgiving, and I noticed some pretty big changes at Tenacity. And buddies I play with tell me there are big changes all over. You had a busy winter.
We did.
What'd you do?
Every winter we kind of start out, we have got a list of projects, tree work, and really towards the end of the year and the beginning of the new year, we focus on professional development, continuous education. So at the end of 2024, I was able to complete my certified golf course superintendent's curriculum, I guess you could say, to get that certification through the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America. It's a pretty big deal. It's a lot of work, a lot of time.
I object. It is not a pretty big deal.
Tell them how many. I'll toot his horn. Tell them how many of you there are in the state.
I think there's 13.
There you go.
There you
It's
go.
not a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good to get it done and learned a lot about our operation through the process, because they kind of give you a whole outline of what they're looking for and what you're going to be tested on, and they come and they send 2 certified superintendents that come out and review your property and all your records and everything. So it was good to get that behind me. We did the course of testing in September, and then we had three pretty big exams to take in November, December last year.
Yeah.
I was able to get that done before Christmas. Praise the Lord. It was nice to get that behind us.
Yeah.
And then starting in January, the first week of January after the new year, is our Tennessee Turfgrass Association Education Conference and Trade Show. So we took all 8 managers in golf maintenance, 6 managers in golf maintenance, a superintendent and an assistant superintendent from each course, and we all go to Murfreesboro and take part in a 2.5-day event where we get about 16 hours of education classes and a trade show and some networking, and they cover anything from latest research to new products coming to market, new equipment. They'll bring in some guys that have hosted PGA Tour events, talk about their experience there. So it's a really good conference, and we get to kind of network with some guys and get fired up for the new season. And then when we get back from that, it's kind of finishing up indoor project work. All 3 courses are always staying busy trying to improve our facilities. Tenacity did some painting in-house, did a lot of shopkeeping, cleaning up, kind of getting rid of some old stuff. Kahiti.
An expansion, one of them, right? Or 2 of them?
No shop expansion. Kahiti, I guess Kahiti built onto their pole barn.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they built onto their pole barn to get a little bit more equipment under storage. Kahiti also built, or they had a contractor build material storage bins. So Kahiti and Tokwa use 3 different types of sand: top dressing sand for the greens, bunker sand, and then just a cheap sand that you can get for driving range and course divots. Right. Tokwa and Tenacity have been outfitted with material bins since I've been here. But Kahiti has never had anything, so they've been stuck with dumping it at the end of the cul-de-sac or in their shop on gravel, and you get a little bit of loss. They're always pulling gravel out of their sand, so it was nice to get that done at Kahiti. And then indoor stuff. Kahiti improved their break room. They added a couple countertops. They painted. Tok was building another equipment storage shed in-house. And so shop projects is kind of January, and then when we get into February, we start doing stuff on the course. Tenacity did a big, little over 500 feet of drainage down the middle of number 4 fairway.
Thank you very much. Have you ever walked up that course, that hole after a rain?
Oh yeah, it's wet.
It's a slog.
It's very wet, so it should be better. We've got a 10-inch trench, 18 inches deep, backfilled with gravel, stone and pipe, and that should drain that area really well and keep us off the path more often than we are. And then finishing up projects at all 3 courses and getting ready for course aeration, which we're kind of right in the midst of right now, March 12th. So it's been busy, and before we know it, it'll be full bore mowing grass and getting ready every day.
So one of the things I noticed is there are new, I don't know what, I'm going to call them a T-marker pole.
Yep, hole signs. Yep.
Hole signs.
Yep.
Yeah. Jordan did them at Kahiti over the last couple of years.
Yes, sir.
And then you guys did those this winter, both,
Yep,
both
yep.
the remainder courses?
Yes, sir. We did the same style marker at Tenacity. We budgeted for it actually in 2024. Bought the granite markers and did those poles in house. Kind of mounted our ball wash and our trash cans to them. And Toqua's doing something similar, but a little more simple, I guess, for the moment. And then if we get really good feedback from Kahidi and Tenacity, then we'll eventually budget for new granite markers at Toqua. They're expensive, so you kind of got to put it in the plan. But yeah, it's a great addition. The old granite markers or monuments, I guess, are coming out. And if you're playing in the beautification tournament, you might be able to bid on some granite markers from Tenacity or Toqua. You can put it in your garden or, in your living room, wherever you want it.
Get creative.
But
We've got plenty of requests for them.
Yeah.
Put
So
4 or 5 across your driveway so people can't come
That's
through your
right.
house.
That's right. So if you're playing in the beautification tournament, or if you're not, you just want to go take part in the silent auction, there will be some granite hole markers.
Let's give a shout out to the woodworkers.
Yeah.
They did something for you this winter.
Absolutely, man. So Tenacity or Toqua and Kahidi have always, for the last few years, have had kind of their custom tee markers with their course mascot logo, whatever you may call it. And so this year we wanted to do something similar at Tenacity. We looked into getting custom tee markers made from a vendor. You're talking $5,000-$6,000 to get enough, because you got to have extras, I'm sure. I wouldn't advise it, but some seem to grow legs throughout the year, and it's kind of same with our flag sticks and flags on the course. You lose a few of them a year to.
During the holiday weekends when guests.
Yeah,
are in town,
typically
you
on
ever
holiday
notice
weekends. Yep.
Yeah.
But the woodworkers made us, I believe, 185 or 200 new custom Tenacity feather tee markers. So that was another indoor project. They cut them out. They got the wood. Cost us less than $150 in supplies. And shout out to the woodworkers, because those are the same guys that do the ones at Kahidi, do the ones at Toqua. They've done ours.
Fabulous job.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's awesome.
So it took a lot of time to sand those down, paint them, put a stain on it, good clear. We use marine varnish. Seems to hold up in the weather a little better. So once we roll out the new scorecards, we'll roll out all our new tee markers also.
Well, big thanks to that club.
Yeah, they're great.
I heard a rumble that we're going through a new course rating and slope rating.
That is correct.
And do you know when the last update to that was?
To my knowledge, for all three to be done, it's been at least 10 or 15 years. And since that time frame, we've done a lot of on-course stuff that Wells can talk about.
Well, we're going to
to
get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
We're going to explain to me what course rating is.
Sure. So the course rating, think of course rating as a scratch golfer, somebody who has a 0 handicap, right? And they go out and are expected to shoot around even par. So the course rating is built for scratch golfers. So if a scratch golfer plays our yellow tees, right, that's why that course rating might be 64.2.
Right.
Right. They're expected to shoot somewhere around 64.
Right.
And if they go back to the black tees, then that course rating might be 73. So a scratch golfer is supposed to shoot about 1 over par from those tees.
Okay, and that's identifiable on the scorecard.
Exactly.
But now there's another thing that goes into that number.
There is.
That's called slope rating.
The slope rating is more of a bogey golfer rating. So sometimes, I'll give you an example. Our new course rating at Tenacity from the black tees drops about 2.2 or 2.4 shots when you go from black to blue tees.
Okay.
Right? But the slope rating only goes down 1. Why? The slope rating is built for the bogey golfer. So from the blue tees, the USGA and RNA rater that came in felt like the bogey golfer still from the blue tees can't hit it far enough at Tenacity a lot of times on maybe par 4s or longer par 3s to get it to the green. So then you go to what's called R&R, rough and recoverability.
Right.
So how deep is the rough? Get data from Wells. How deep is your rough throughout the year? How fast are your green speeds? How far away are your bunkers from the tee? How far away is your native grass from the tee? Wells and his team have done a great job with the Audubon project, and we have our native areas that turn into kind of
number of tees.
Number of tees. So it's just a lot more. The trees have matured, so there's a lot more that goes into it. And so the slope rating is built for the scratch golfer, or I'm sorry, the bogey golfer versus the course rating for the scratch golfer.
And it's much more complicated, and you need a qualified person to determine all that.
We did. So we searched far and wide for the right person, and we got a gentleman to come in here actually from South Carolina to re-rate our golf courses. He's been in Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, all over the Southeast. He's been rating golf courses for 31 years.
Okay.
And so when I call him, even as a golf professional, I'm like, he knows a lot about what's going on. Or any question I had, and I called him multiple times, like questioning some numbers and some things, and every time I just started retaining more and more information about rating golf courses. So Wells got to meet him as well.
Yeah.
He was impressive.
Yep.
Okay. So 10, 15 years we've done the update.
Yep.
Wells, what have we changed since you've been here how many years?
This will be my 15th summer.
Okay, 15th summer. And since you've been here as a golf maintenance professional, lead guy,
Yep.
what changes have we made?
Well, we've gone through, probably the biggest change we've made since my arrival was 2 Bill Bergen bunker renovations at Tokwa and Kahiti.
Right.
Bill really kind of prides himself on making a golf course more difficult for the scratch golfer and easier for the high handicap golfer. So some bunkers went away, some bunkers were added. Some bunkers that were right next to the green might have been pushed back. Some that were a little further out in the approach might have been pushed a little closer. So that's probably the biggest change. Another one is just the quality of our greens over the years. When we first got here, the greens were in kind of tough shape, and ball roll was probably 9 feet on a good day. We maintain our greens around 10, 10 and a half on a normal day in the summertime right now, so that has an effect on your rating. We've added a lot of natural areas. We do our best to not penalize the high handicapper, but we're going to still put some, kind of frame the hole around greens, around tees, sometimes in between the tee and the fairway. So those are probably some of the biggest changes that have been made since we've been here.
So when I moved here 17, 18 years ago, there were blue tees, white tees, and red tees.
Really?
What are there now?
Oh gosh.
Black tees, blue tees, white tees, orange tees, green tees, and yellow tees.
Okay.
Six tee markers.
So now we throw that into the mix.
Yep.
You get the professional, comes in here. How do you take advantage of all that information? What do you do with it?
Yeah, so we've done some really neat stuff. So obviously they gave us the course and the slope ratings from those tees. But then I also challenged the golf committee, and it became an initiative for us in 2024 to get the re-rating done in order to go ahead and start preparing for some combo tees. So we've got some combo courses now built into our existing.
You already had a combo course.
We had one that nobody played.
That's
Tennessee.
right.
You're
yeah.
right. Yeah, it was the black-blue combo. So that's gone, right? So you'll have 6 tee markers, right? The 6 that I just went through, right, for men and women. But within that, you're going to have 3 different golf courses to play. So still just 6 sets of tee markers, but 9 golf courses. So we've created a blue/white combo course.
Stop there and explain that.
Sure. So we're playing number 1 at Tenassie, right? It's a pretty short hole. So if you're playing the blue tees at Tenassie, it's about 6,200 yards, and if you're playing the white tees, I don't know the exact yardage, it's 5,200 yards, right? So what about 1,000 yards is a big difference, right? So we've got some players who are white tee players who are playing a lot of golf that are ready to go to the blue tees, or we've got some blue tee players that need to start going to the white tees, right? So let's find that gap somewhere in that 400, 500, 600 yard range and create a new a combo course with our existing tee markers.
Right.
So what we did is we'd go out on harder holes. You'll notice the blue-white combo course. They're playing the white tees on some of those harder holes. And on some of the easier holes, they're back on the blue tee. So about 9 of the holes are on the blue tee, 9 of the holes are on the white tee. We did the same thing for the white/orange tees.
Got it.
So some holes you're playing the white tees, some playing the orange tees. We did the same thing for the green and the yellow tees. We have a lot of ladies who have gotten a lot better at golf since they moved to Tellico, right? They're playing a lot of golf and using our instructional opportunities, and really just see them going from yellow to green.
Right.
And we see some ladies going from green to yellow. So that was 1,000 yards difference per course. So now they've got the green-yellow combo tee, and it's right in the middle. There'll be some men that play that as well, right? We have some men that need to play the yellow tee. So each one of those combo courses, Pat, has its own rating and its own slope.
Got it. Understood.
Right.
And anybody that wants to know more, we're going to have new scorecards that show this?
We will. We're going to have new scorecards and some instructional kind of type outs on everything, and it's going to be really clean laid out, and we're going to roll this out in April, and it'll go live.
Okay, so now let's get personal.
Yep.
Right? Okay. I'm playing Kahiti. I walk up on number 10, 11, 12.
Yep.
Whether I play white tee or blue tee, green, well, let's not go up that far, but white tee, blue tee, or black tee, I might as well write down bogey or double bogey.
Sure.
Holes like that, have they changed?
They have. So, I don't disagree. 12 at Kahiti's a hard hole, right? But currently, in our rating we've been playing through in the last, what we expect 10 to 15 years, the 12th hole at Kahiti for men is ranked 9th on the golf course. And
No,
it's
it's not.
definitely not the 9th hardest hole. It's top 5, right? So we took over 5,000 rounds from the MGA, from club championships, LGA 18, LGA 9, Ladies Club Champions, all kinds of data over the last 3 or 4 years, and we spit it out. So we didn't just sit in a room as a golf advisory committee and say, no, I think that hole's hard, I think that hole's hard. We took actual data,
Right.
and the data spit out where your whole handicaps are going to be. So now when you're playing golf, players that are playing the black, the blue-white combo course, and the white tees are actually going to have different hole handicaps than players playing the white-orange combo, the orange, the green-yellow combo course, and the yellow tees. So you're going to have different hole handicaps for different players. I'll give you an example, and then I'll stop. I know it's a lot of information to retain, but number 10 at Tenasseee. It was ranked the 2nd hardest hole for men from the white tees.
Right.
And it was ranked the 10th hardest hole, or the 8th easiest hole, for men from the orange tees. What's that telling you? They're not even playing the same golf hole.
No.
Right? It's not even close.
No.
I think the orange tees are 80 yards, and they're on top of the hill.
And they don't have a
The
carry.
lake is virtually out of play.
Exactly. So they're playing 2 different golf courses. So now within the events, we can have fair competitions from different sets of tees, and really believe that the finished product, it took a long time, but we're really proud of it.
Well, you also brought up fair competition just now, but also golf is fun,
It is.
and golf is also challenging.
Yes.
And golf is also one of those sports that you're never happy with your score.
Yeah.
You go home and you tell your wife, well, I shot a 72 today, but if I hadn't 2-putted or 3-putted that green, I could have had a 71.
Yep.
Never happy. So there's always that challenge, right?
Absolutely.
And it sounds to me like this could be a fit for anybody that wants to maintain that fun, that competition, and that challenge. And handicap equalizes within the group.
Yeah, absolutely. It does. From any tee. You can play any tee. The USGA and the RNA have recognized this and our Gen Handicap system. As soon as we get scorecards in, they're ordered. As soon as we get them in, I'm calling the Tennessee Golf Association and say, make those handicaps, course ratings, slope ratings, make it go live. We're going to roll the scorecards out so it's a nice, clean transition, and we're going.
Today, as we're filming this, is March the 12th.
March 12th.
Yeah.
March the 12th. It's already March the 12th. So a lot of people, when they're watching this, will know that you've already aerified the greens.
Correct.
But you're doing it right now as we speak.
We are.
And what's going on? How's it going?
It's going. It's a lot. Last week we were at Tokwa. Tokwa did our traditional hollow tine aerification. So they call it a 5/8, but the inside diameter is actually right around a 1/2 inch. So effectively that's what we're going to remove on 2-inch spacing, but they did that in 2 directions. So if you figure on 2-inch spacing, you can get 36 holes in a square foot. Tokwa's got 135,000 square feet of greens. Tokwa and Tenasseee, now that we don't have a putting green. So if you do the math, it's with Tokwa punching them twice, they did right around 9.2 million 1/2-inch holes on their putting greens.
You're kidding.
And probably by the time they're done, close to 70 tons of sand that they'll then drag back into the holes, smooth the surface. And Tenasseee, we did a little different process this year. We did a single hollow tine punch with a 1/2-inch hole, so 4.6 million 1/2-inch holes on our greens. But then we came in right before that and did the drill and fill machine. And the drill and fill is on 7-inch spacing, so you can get 5, can't quite get 6 holes in a square foot, but if you say you get 5 in a square foot, it's a 1-inch hole, 10 inches deep, around 675,000 1-inch holes at Tenasseee.
Wow. And for the brand new Tellico Village golfer,
Yep.
just took it up, just moved here. Spring arrives. It's going to be close to 80 degrees today on March the 12th. and they go out and they play. When you going to open Tenassie? Tomorrow?
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah,
Okay.
March
If they go out and
14th.
play Friday, they're going to see greens destroyed, absolutely destroyed, and they're going to ask themselves, "Why did you do that?"
Yeah. So, you have to aerify putting greens, especially ones that are of the age of ours. I mean, ours at Tenassie are approaching 30 years old. The USGA recommends you rebuild your greens every 20 to 25 years. We haven't experienced any sort of failure or struggles over the last few years. I mean, it's never easy in the Mid-South or East Tennessee in the summertime on bent grass, but as long as we can continue to aerify, remove some thatch, when we pull a core, we punch a hole, we drill, whatever it may be, we're removing thatch, we're helping out surface firmness or compaction. We're kind of providing a clean channel for roots to grow down through, water to get through. USGA greens are supposed to percolate around 6 inches an hour. When we first got here, the greens at Tenassie were perking around 2.5. So we really got after it for many years.
And again, we talked about how long I've been there. I remember days where you would hit a pitching wedge into a green on Tenassie and it would plug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those days are long gone.
Yeah. You wish it would.
Now
you can't stop
it's
it. It's hard
over.
to stop it, right?
Yeah. So, aeration has a number of different benefits, but mostly it's just to, remove some thatch, increase pore space, increase an area for roots and water to go, and extend the life of our greens. So that's why we do get so aggressive. And we get aggressive in the spring. We do more to them in the spring than most golf courses. But at the end of the season, we're very conservative. In September, we do a very minimal dry eject aerification that's playable the next day.
Yeah.
So, give us time and know that it may feel nice outside, but air temperature is not what grows grass. It's soil temperature.
Right.
And until our soil temperatures get into the upper 50s, even ideally into the low 60s, our bent grass is going to be slow to recover.
And one of our hints that soil temperature is coming up is Bermuda grass will start growing again.
That's right. That's right. And it's starting to green up. I mean,
It
even
is.
this week, I was at Tenassie yesterday, and the front part of the fairway on hole 15 faces dead south. Hole 11, any south-facing slope with little to no cart traffic is going to be the first areas to green up. And on Monday, I didn't see much. Yesterday, I saw quite a bit, and today it was even more. So you can really see it in the mornings when the dew is on the grass, because the dew will set on that new fresh Bermuda grass really well. So we're coming along. Give us time. Hopefully by the time this comes out into March, 1st of April, Toqua will be getting close. But, the heel time to get the greens back perfect could be anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks.
Yeah,
in
depending
reality.
on the temperature and the soil temperature.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sunshine.
Yeah, we need a warm April.
Usual spot on Golf Talk, Casey. What's coming up in April?
Yeah, the biggest thing is our golf leagues are going to start, right?
Yeah.
You're going to see, so I'll run through those for maybe we have some new viewers. So you're going to have our ladies leagues, which is your ladies 18-hole league, which plays 18 holes on a golf course on Tuesday morning. You're going to have your LGA 9.
Not to interrupt, but you just had a big meeting with those ladies, right?
We did a big rules and orientation. There was over 100 ladies there.
Wow.
It was really neat. Talked about some rules, had some fun.
Yeah.
Lucas and I made some jabs at each other, so it was pretty fun
Okay.
and entertaining. LGA 9, they're going to play 9 holes on another golf course on Tuesday mornings. Lady Linksters is kind of your introductory league. If you're in a bunker and you want to throw it out of there, just throw it. If you want to hit it or try to hit it, whatever you want to do. And then you also have a lady 49ers leagues. They play on the opposite side of tee times on Thursdays at noon. So that's a great league. They play by the rules of golf, so it's a fun league. And then you've got, for men, you have your MGA 18. They're going to play on Thursday mornings, and that'll rotate every week. And you will have your Teleco Linksters, which is similar to Lady Linksters, just your men, not necessarily introductory. There's a lot of men playing in that league that just don't want to play by the rules. They don't, not that they care, they would just want to have fun.
More
right?
social than
Exactly.
competition.
Exactly. It's about maybe a beer or cigar on the porch after for them. So, and then we have our HOA League, which will play 2 times a month on Wednesdays, and our New Villagers League, which will play every Thursday except for the first Thursday of the month. So, tons of options. I mean, HOA, New Villagers. If I'm a new villager, I would sign up for that. If I'm out of New Villagers, or even if I'm a new villager, I play HOA golf. Right. Great way to meet new people. You've got a guaranteed tee time on Wednesdays during summer, which it's hard to get, right? So those shotguns are a great way for people to meet new people. And so outside of our leagues, we'll have our all-vendor demo day is Friday, April 4th at Toqua. Free hot dogs and hamburgers. That seems to go well for everybody. On Saturday, April 12th, we have our beautification event, which is a golf advisory committee initiative for that benefits the beautification of the 3 golf courses and those committees. So that flyer will be out by the time this video comes out, and so sign up for that on Chelsea. And then at the end of April, the last weekend, is our senior club championship.
Senior club championship.
Yep.
Well, I thought we were pretty much all seniors anyway.
We are, but not necessarily. There are some that aren't. But within that, there's different divisions of seniors. Exactly.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, and I heard a little birdie tell me that you went out to a Monterey Bay Invitational.
I did, and
that's
the
3 days of playing on what courses?
It was 3 days. I played Spanish Bay the first day in the rain, and I shot 32 on the front 9, and that's where I really made some headway to take over the golf tournament. It was the first 9 holes, which sounds crazy in a 54-hole event, but shot 67 and had I think a 1 or 2 shot lead after the first day, and I shot 68 at Pebble the next day.
Good.
And the final round, I shot 68 at Spyglass, and I think I won by 4 maybe. It was 13 under par.
Wow, congratulations.
Good. Thank you.
Good representation for us.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. You have anything coming up in April?
We've got some course-wide fertilizer applications going out at the end of the month. So, again, we're talking about grass growth and soil temperatures. By the time we get to the end of April, that's kind of when we'll go out and feed the entire golf course, kind of get ready for May to really have everything pop. Other than that, again, just kind of finishing up some hole signs and making final adjustments on some tee markers, and just trying to mark off the last few little winter projects and get ready for the season. Because once May gets here and we start growing, it's guys are on mowers and equipment all day long. You don't have much time for projects.
Yep.
So.
I got one more thing.
Sure.
Got to put this in. The beautification event, Saturday, April 12th at Toqua. We're going to have a table outside in the hallway at Toqua, like we have in years past, that week for all kinds of auction items. You've got your dinner.
Do one.
You got your dinner
Gourmet
cruise.
dinner cruise.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You and Alice take them around the lake for a dinner cruise and stop at different spots. But I know a lot of people are interested in those plaques, right? And,
yes.
So we'll have all that laid out. That's where you can bid on those plaques, the old stone signs. From Tanassi and
again,
Yep.
You talked about Alice and I do that dinner cruise. We have such a good time because we always meet new people on that. But there's also something else behind that, is that there are a lot of people in Tellico Village that have some very good items.
Yes.
And they might necessarily not want them anymore.
Yeah.
And they can donate them to the beautification, to that silent auction.
One year somebody donated a Tiger Woods signed memorabilia item saying like Tiger Woods.
Yeah, and,
right?
and he didn't like
We'll
Tiger
take those.
Woods.
Those are good items to auction off.
And there's been putters that have been won,
Yep.
and or a bag, and various items that people have that are just hanging around their home.
Everything helps. It just goes to make the community, nicer.
Absolutely.
So everything helps. We'll take whatever it is. If it's got some value and we can put it in the silent auction, we're happy to do it.
Thanks everyone for watching this month's episode of Golf Talk. Again, we ask that you subscribe to the Tellico Village Network, not only for Golf Talk, but everything else going on in Tellico Village that you could be kept abreast of. Also hit that like button and make as many comments as you would like. We really look forward to reading them. See you again next month.